And I believe President Trump got rid of her, I think it's called like presidential security or whatever that she had. What if she has one in Philadelphia coming up in a couple weeks? What if she goes to that and someone wants to retaliate and says, I'm going to go to Kamala Harris's book tour and do what they did to Charlie?
That's a really good point.
What happens next? Okay, now what? Where are we going? Okay, so go ahead, go forward, and then go one more. And it led me here. You know, violence or the threat of violence against civilians to achieve some political goal. So 9/11 is terrorism. What happened yesterday, the killing of Charlie Kirk, is terrorism.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about all of this? I've waited a long time to really discuss this because I did that on purpose. I didn't want to jump at it too early. And now I'm going to discuss it a little more. This is Professor Sam Richards. He's a professor at Penn State University. I think he's very tenured. He leads a Sociology 119 class where he discusses world events. And he is one of the first people on the left, or who's not an outright conservative, that I've seen call yesterday's act terrorism. He said it, Barack Obama said it online, and Bernie Sanders, I noticed, said it too. But I have not seen much because people are trying to politicize something, which, because Charlie Kirk was conservative, they're trying to politicize it and not recognizing the real problem. Somebody was assassinated on a college campus because of their political beliefs. That's the problem. It's not about Charlie Kirk and his beliefs necessarily. It's the fact that somebody was assassinated on a college campus who wasn't a politician, by the way, because of their political beliefs, because he was debating students about being conservative. That is terrorism. That is an act of political violence. And not just from my opinion, Dr. Sam Richards is saying it. He's a professor. But let's get into this and not waste any more time.
So, I have my own thoughts when I think about this question of, okay, what's next? What's going to happen next? Where are we going to go? I have my own thoughts. But I'm of a different generation. So I really don't want to hear my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. Like, what do you think? What's next, y'all? So, you two gents. So I'd like to have at least, we have 2 volunteers. I didn't pick anybody out before class. I happened to speak to, would somebody else like to? It'd be nice if somebody, no, I need a woman actually. I don't want to do the male woman thing, but we got to have women. You haven't volunteered yet, right? You want to? Okay, all right. Are there any international students who, this is not just about the U.S., by the way. Anybody international who would be like, yeah. Anybody from the Middle East, by the way? Wait, do you want to volunteer? Yeah? You want to go? Wait, hang on, before you do. Any woman, are you from the Middle East? Where are you from? Saudi, you want to volunteer? Okay, come on. Sorry, bro, I'll hit you up next time. All right. Can you guys move down that way? I'm going to have her sit here. Yeah, okay.
And before he gets into the discussion, one thing I will say is there's a reason why Gen Z is called cancel culture. Like, it's the cancel culture. It's because it is a cancel culture. They will try to cancel you, and not just the way you speak. They want to cancel what you talk about, and it's showing as we progress. And I don't want it to be that way. I think it's bad for humanity if you don't listen to suppressed voices. And I honestly think that's a big reason why Trump won this previous election, because a lot of his voter base felt like they weren't being listened to. I said that years ago, but whatever. But you can't just cancel voices that you don't agree with. The voice isn't going to go away. It's just going to get amplified in a different way.
Jamie is in my ear, and she just asked me a question. Jamie is one of the moderators of the class in the chat, and she asks, is there a reason that you said debate and not conversation? Wait, maybe just scoot a little more this way. Okay, that's good. And yeah, Jamie, I think because, first off, it's really about conversation, right? But I think because I said debate because both Gary, of course, Gary is very happy to have a conversation. And when you have a conversation with Gary, he's really, really thoughtful. He's a really, really nice guy. Same with Charlie. Very congenial, very friendly. I quite enjoyed him, actually. So I think I said debate only because Charlie's so into the debate thing. And that's what he was doing when he was killed. He was there.
Wow, Dr. Richards is a Charlie Kirk fan. I would not have guessed that. That's crazy.
At this university in Utah. And to have a debate. So anyway, Jamie, that's why I said that. But in truth for me, it's about having a conversation. Okay, let's start at this end. So introduce yourself and something about you. Push it up. Yeah.
Okay, I'm Layla. Should I say my major and like where I'm from?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm from New Jersey, and my major is general biology.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Jack. I'm a civil engineering major, and I'm from Boston.
I'm Jason. I'm from Charlottesville, Virginia, and I'm a RHS major.
I'm Walla. I'm from Saudi, and I'm a chemical engineering major.
Lala. Wait, Lala, this is your first day, right? Is this your first day in class? Didn't you just add it?
No.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
That's somebody else. Chemical engineering?
Yeah.
Yeah, from
a sophomore.
Saudi. Okay, so listen, you can blacken the screen, by the way. Hey, what are when you think about this, you know, where we're at, and we think about 9/11, we think about what happened yesterday. What are you afraid? What are you afraid of that might happen next? Like, what are you guys afraid of? And by the way, you can speak to both the U.S. and speak the Middle East, or however you want to go. And anybody can start. Like, what are you afraid of?
I think the thing I fear the most is retaliation. Just because we live in a world where retaliation is such a common thing on both sides in any issue. And with Charlie being such a high profile, I mean, he raised millions of dollars for the right-wing party, endorsed candidates. I just feel like it opens the door for someone else who feels passionate to do it to a leader on the left.
Mm-hmm. So what does retaliation look like when you say that? What?
I could see, like, okay, for example, because I was just having a conversation with friends about this. Kamala Harris is going on a book tour. And I believe President Trump got rid of her, I think it's called like presidential security or whatever that she had. What if she has one in Philadelphia coming up in a couple weeks? What if she goes to that and someone wants to retaliate and says, I'm going to go to Kamala Harris's book tour and do what they did to Charlie?
That's a really good point. I will say this. President Joe Biden extended her presidential security or her vice presidential security. And what Donald Trump said was he will not give the extension, meaning he will not pursue or allow the extension anymore past its natural end date. So no, he didn't go out and say, Kamala Harris, I'm going to end your detour. I don't care if it's supposed to last forever. That's not what happened. Vice presidents do not get lifetime security the way that former presidents do. So what he said was, I'm going to end it at its natural end date rather than the extension that Biden granted you. Nonetheless, that's not really the point. The point is retaliation. That's what he said. And that's a very fair point. A lot of people will use Charlie Kirk's death. I don't even want to say death. A lot of people will use his murder as a way to target communities that they don't like. And it's something that I don't want to happen either. For example, the day after he was murdered, a lot of HBCUs, which are historically black colleges, were receiving threats. I don't know if those threats were from people trying to retaliate. I don't know. I just think it's not a good coincidence. And I don't want stuff like that to happen. I don't think anyone wants stuff like that to happen.
Hey, by the way, I like that you said some of us, not them. It's some of us, right? That's, yeah. How about somebody else? Like, what are you most afraid might happen?
I think, our guns getting, the laws changing. The laws have changed in Massachusetts already. You can't even have a Glock anymore. That's just a handgun. It's not an AK-47 or an AR-15. It's a handgun.
Well, so you're afraid, actually, of clamping down on the Second Amendment.
Yeah, because guns don't kill people, cars don't drive drunk, spoons don't make people fat. People kill people. People are sick, and they're the ones that kill people.
By the way, can I just tell you something? There are a ton, so many Second Amendment people watch this class, so you made a lot of friends right there. By the way, okay, somebody else.
Well, I think that was a really good segue into this. I think with the combination of possible retaliation and the lack of gun laws, wouldn't gun laws be better if there is a fear of retaliation from the left?
Yeah.
I think the problem with taking away or putting any gun laws into play is you're going to create a black market for guns. There's already a black market. There's already ghost guns, and it's just going to be just like weed, just like cocaine, just like anything else that gets on the street.
All right. Okay. So hang on. I want you to go back. What is it? Layla. Okay. Layla, go back to. So that you made that point, but go back to the main question. What are you most afraid of?
I think I'm most afraid that America won't utilize Charlie Kirk's death in the correct way, and nothing will really be gained from it, and it'll take too long to put the pieces together of significance, meaning like, what was he talking about when he died? Who killed him? Was it a civilian or was it planned? Was it, the date, the location, things like that? It's going to take a little bit too long to dive into those things, which prolong the process of gun control and things like that.
Okay, so wait, what's the very first thing you said? How you started your sentence?
I'm sorry.
All right, no, okay. So, all right, so we don't learn from it. What would you like us to learn?
Gun control is necessary. I think that's a point that needs to be pushed, but there are...
Okay, go beyond guns. Set aside the guns, because somebody, he could have been killed in any other way, okay? What do we need to learn? You think about what I was saying, think about what do we have to learn?
Sam, can I add something?
Yeah. Wait, no, hang on. I want to stick with Layla for a second.
Can I think on it?
Yeah, let me come. Yeah, hang on. How about you? Like, what do you think we need? What do we need to learn right now? Like, what are you afraid that we're not going to learn?
Well, from what I know about Saudi, we don't really have the choice of being able to own a gun. So I feel like seeing how our life is there, we don't really see as much gun violence or terrorism, as you said it, in our country. So I kind of don't really agree with his point about it's based on people. I feel like if you're giving people a choice to own a gun, then...
All right. So listen, it's not that I don't want to touch guns, because I'm happy to touch guns, right? But I want to go beyond that. We're beyond guns right now, y'all, right? We are from what I'm seeing here. Look here. I want to sit with some. I want you all to sit with something. I want you to respond to something. This thing could go south. Okay? You know what I mean by that, going south, okay? It could really spiral. Thinking about it spiraling, and so Layla and Wala, what are you afraid of? Wait. Spiraling. You know what I mean? You kind of, Jason said it in a way. It's like retaliation and here and here and here and here and here and like, oh, like what do you hang on? Do you think about that? Maybe you don't think about it.
Think about
things spiraling and getting out of control.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's natural with any major thing, especially Charlie Kirk. He represented so much. He said so much all the time. So his death means a lot to a lot of people in a lot of different ways, but I'm not sure really what I'm afraid of other than the meaning of it and the symbolism behind his death not being understood and utilized.
So you're not really afraid in the way that some people. How about you? Like
No, I am still afraid. I am still afraid of things going south because things can go south in every way.
Okay. All right. So I'm thinking about go ahead.
One thing I like about this professor is that he's very, very objective, and which is probably why he did say he liked Charlie Kirk. And I met with him a while ago. I wouldn't expect that, but I kind of do expect that because Charlie Kirk was a pretty good debater, and he, whether people believe it, he was pretty objective in his thoughts.
For example, after the incident yesterday, my parents called me and they were telling me about how they were worried about how...
Hold it a little closer.
My parents called me and they were telling me about how they were worried about how the whole situation was done so easily and how this could lead to a spread of violence. So it does cause people to be afraid.
So cause your parents to be afraid.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting, right? Because we have the idea that, there are a lot of people in this room that would be afraid to go to Saudi Arabia. And if they went to Saudi Arabia, their friends and family would say, oh my God, be careful over there. It's really dangerous over there. And you would say, like, come on, man. Nothing gonna,
we're the land of peace.
You might get run over by a Mercedes or something, you know what I mean? But you'll be all right. How about somebody? So either Jack or Deshaun, or Jason? Sorry, it's being afraid, like things going south, right? What's that look like to you guys? Or are you afraid? Do you have any fear of that? Like, y'all are young. You know what I mean? Like, you're just starting your lives. Like, I'm at the end. Like, I'm looking around and I'm saying, well, if it goes south, I got my best years in it. So,
I mean, even to touch on back to the point of like, what can we learn from it? I'm afraid that. Because I already feel like we're at that point, kind of. But, like, I'm afraid that people are going to continue to not know how to get things done in this country. Or, like, realize where their anger needs to be directed. Because to the point of what I said about Charlie Kirk being, like, he was a big influence on the right-wing party. He raised money, but he was not a politician. He did not sign a bill. He did not have any, like, pen to paper influence on any type of policy.
Yeah.
And I feel like people lose the scope on their city council, their school boards, their state legislature that actually put pen to paper on how our day-to-day lives look, our economy looks, school policy, and that's where our real anger and our real attention needs to go to. And I feel like a lot of these influencers, they take up all this attention, and then people they don't direct their anger and their attention to where it needs to go to actually make change in this country.
Okay, so
I think that's a pretty fair point. And this is one thing that confused me when all this happened. I was like, Charlie Kirk he's an influencer. He's not a politician. He's not writing any legislation. And I do think what he said was true. He had a podcast. He wasn't out here signing bills and sending it to Congress and debating in front of the Supreme Court. But let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know if you stand with the students or you stand with Professor Sam Richards. My name is LFR Jojo, and I'll see you in the next video.